The following is a class on the Bhagavad Gita as it is, 6th chapter, text number 1, given by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, recorded in February of 1969 in Los Angeles.
Chapter 6, Samkhya Yoga, verse number 1. The Blessed Lord said, "One who is unattached to the fruits of his work, and who works as he is obligated, is in the renounced order of life, and he is the true mystic, not he who lights no fire and performs no work." Purport. In this chapter, the Lord explains that the process of the Eightfold Yoga system is a means to control the mind and senses. However, this is very difficult for people in general to perform, especially in this age of Kali. Although the Eightfold Yoga system is recommended in this chapter, the Lord emphasizes that the process of Karma Yoga, or acting in Krishna consciousness, is better. Everyone acts in this world to maintain his family and their paraphernalia, but no one is working without some self-interest, some personal gratification, being concentrated or extended. The criterion of perfection is to act in Krishna consciousness, and not with a view to enjoying the fruits of work. To act in Krishna consciousness is the duty of every living entity, because we are constitutionally parts and parcels of the Supreme. The parts of the body work for the satisfaction of the whole body. The limbs of the body do not act for self-satisfaction, but for the satisfaction of the complete whole. Similarly, the living entity, acting for satisfaction of the supreme whole, and not for personal satisfaction, is the perfect sannyasi, the perfect yogi. The sannyasins sometimes artificially think that they have become liberated from all material duties, and therefore they cease to perform agnihotra yagnas, fire sacrifices.
There are some yogas to be performed by everyone for purification. So a sannyasi does not require to perform the yogas. So by stopping that ritualistic performance of yoga, sometimes they think that they are liberated. But actually, unless he comes to the standard platform of Krishna consciousness, there is no question of liberation. Go on.
But actually, they are self-interested, because their goal is to become one with the impersonal Brahman.
There is demand. The impersonalists, they have got one demand that to become one with the Supreme impersonal being. But a devotee has no demand. He simply engages himself to serve Krishna for the satisfaction of Krishna. They do not want anything in return. That is pure devotion. Just like Lord Chaitanya says, Nadhanang na janang na sundaring kavitang bhajagadisa kama. I do not want any wealth. I do not want any number of followers. I do not want any nice wife. Simply let me be engaged in your service. That's all. That is the Bhakti Yoga system. When Prahlad Maharaj was asked by Lord Nrsimhadev, "My dear boy, you have suffered for me so much, so whatever you want, you ask for." So he refused. "My dear master, I am not doing mercantile business with you, that I will take some remuneration from you for my service." This is pure devotion. So yogis or the jnanis, they are demanding that they should become one with the Supreme. Why one with the Supreme? Because they have got bitter experience by the separation of material pangs. But a devotee has no such thing. The devotee remains, although separate from the Lord, he is fully enjoying in the service of the Lord. Right.
Such a desire is greater than any material desire, but it is not without self-interest. Similarly, the mystic yogi who practices the yoga system with half-open eyes, ceasing all material activities, desires some satisfaction for his personal self. But the person acting...
Actually the yogis wants of material power. That is the perfection of yoga. Not perfection, that is one of the procedure. Just like if you are actually practicing the regulatory principles of yoga, then you can get 8 kinds of perfection. You can become lighter than the cotton swab. You can become heavier than the stone. And you can get anything, whatever you like, immediately. Sometimes you can even create a planet. Such powerful yogis are there. Vishwamitra yogi, he did it actually. He wanted to get man from palm tree. Why man should be begotten through the living 10 months within the womb of mother. They will produce just like fruit. He did it like that. So sometimes yogis are so powerful they can do. So these are all material powers. Such yogis, they are also vanquished. How long you can remain on this material power? So bhakta yogis, they do not want anything such. Yes.
But a person acting in Krishna consciousness works for the satisfaction of the whole, without self-interest. A Krishna-conscious person has no desire for self-satisfaction. His criterion of success is the satisfaction of Krishna, and thus he is the perfect sannyasi, or perfect yogi. Lord Chaitanya, the highest perfectional symbol in Krishna consciousness, prays in this way, O Almighty Lord, I have no desire to accumulate wealth, nor to enjoy beautiful women. Neither do I want any number of followers. What I want only is the causeless mercy of your devotional service in my life, birth after birth.
So a devotee does not want even salvation. Why Lord Chaitanya says birth after birth? The salvationists, they want to stop. The voidies, they want to stop this material way of life. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says birth after birth. That means he is prepared to undergo all kinds of material pains, birth after birth. But what he wants, he simply wants to be engaged in the service of the Lord. That is the perfection of it. I think you can stop. Stop here.
You said that the spirit soul is 1/10,000 of the tip of a hair. In the spiritual sky, is the spirit soul still just that big? The spirit soul, when it goes back...
That is his constitutional position. Either in the spiritual sky or material sky. He is the same. But as you develop in the material world, material body, similarly in the spiritual world you can develop a spiritual body. You follow? Your position is that small particle, but spirit can expand. This expansion in the material world is being done in contact with matter. And in the spiritual world, that expansion can be done in spirit. Here, in the material world, I am spirit soul, I am different from this body. Because this body is matter. And I am living. I am living force. But this material body is not living force. And in the spiritual world, there is everything living force. There is no dead matter. Therefore the body is also spiritual. Just like Water with water, water, that's all. But water and oil, distinction. Similarly, I am spirit soul, I am say oil, so I am in the water, so there is distinction. But if I am put into the oil, then everything is oil. So, the impersonalists, they do not develop body. They simply remain as spirit particle. That is their idea. But we Vaishnava, we want to serve Krishna, therefore we require hands, legs and mouth and tongue and everything. So we are given such body. As we are getting this body from the womb of the mother, similarly we get body in the spiritual world, not from the womb of the mother, but there is process to get, you can get.
That can be done artificially, though. Nobody can do that, a trick.
Artificially?
Yeah, no one can develop a spiritual body just by his own whim. Oh, I shall develop a spiritual body in practice.
This Krishna consciousness practice is turning this material body into spiritual body. How it is done? The example I have several times given, that you put the iron in the fire, the more it is warm, it becomes fire. When the iron is red hot, that means when the iron has acquired the qualities of fire, you touch the iron anywhere, it will act as fire. Similarly, this body, although it is material, there are so many examples that a metal electrified, the metal is not electricity, but when it is electrified, you touch the metal, you get electric shock immediately. Just like the electric wire, copper, it is copper. But as soon as it is electrified, you touch it, you get electric shock. There are so many examples. Similarly, if your body is spiritualized, then the material action is no more. Material action means sense gratification. So the more one becomes spiritualized, the material demands become nil. No more material activities. So how you can do that? The same example, you have to keep the iron constantly with the fire. You have to keep yourself constantly in Krishna consciousness. Then even this body, material body, is spiritualized. There is a Sanskrit grammatical law which is called Mayat Pratyaya. Mayat means, there is a word just like Sarnamaya. Sarnamaya means golden. Golden can be called, when it is made of pure gold, that is also golden. And if it is made of something else, but the coating is gold, large quantity of gold, it is also golden. Similarly, when this material body is full with spiritual activities only, this is also spiritual. Therefore, saintly persons, of course, in your country everyone is put into the grave after passing away. But in India, according to Vedic system, only very high personality devotees, their body is not burnt. It is considered spiritual. A sannyasi's body is not burned because it is considered spiritual. So how it becomes spiritual? The same example. When the body has no more any material activities, simply spiritual activity in Krishna consciousness, that body is spiritual. So, if this world is become full in Krishna consciousness, nobody is working for sense gratification, only for satisfaction of Krishna, this world becomes spiritual or immediate. This requires little time to understand. Anything used for Krishna, simply for Krishna satisfaction, it is spiritual. Just like we are using this microphone for talking about Krishna, then it is spiritual. Otherwise, what is the difference between this prasadam and ordinary food? We are distributing prasadam. The people will say, what is prasadam? The same fruit we eat, and you have simply cut into pieces, it has become prasadam. They can say that. How it is prasadam? But it is prasadam. You go on eating this prasadam, you become spiritualized. Actually, this prasadam is simple. Just like the same example, if I take that iron, hot iron, if I say it is fire, somebody may say, oh, why it is fire? It is iron. I say, touch it. These are crude examples, but that is it. When your activities, actually, in higher sense, there is no matter. There is no matter, everything is spiritual. Because Krishna is spiritual. Krishna is whole spirit, and the matter is one of the energy of Krishna. Therefore it is also spirit. But because it is being misused, not for the purpose of Krishna, therefore it is matter. So our Krishna consciousness movement is to spiritualize, re-spiritualize the whole thing, whole social position, political position, anything. It is a very nice movement. People should try to understand it. And if it is actually spiritualize the whole world, of course that is not possible. But the ideal is like that. But at least if individually one tries this re-spiritualization method, his life becomes perfect. Yes?
Prabhupada, it is written in Bhagavad Gita that we just read from, about having faith that Krishna will provide for us. And also, further on in the Gita, it is said that God helps those who help themselves.
Yes.
Now, how should we determine what we should determine our...
Helps them means you put yourself under Krishna, that is helping yourself. And if you think, oh, I can protect myself, then you are not helping yourself. Just like this finger, so long it is healthy, working, if there is some trouble, I can spend thousands of dollars for this. But if this finger is cut off from my body, if you trample down with your feet, this finger, I don't care for it. Similarly, to help oneself means to put oneself in the proper position as part and parcel of Krishna. That is real helping. Otherwise, how you can help? The finger can help itself by putting itself in the proper position of the hand and work for the whole body. That is proper position. if the finger thinks that I shall remain separated from this body and help myself, it will die. So as soon as you think that I shall live independently without caring for Krishna, that is my death. And as soon as I engage myself as part and parcel of Krishna, that is my life. So helping oneself means to know one's position and work in that way. That is helping. Without knowing what is his position, how one can help oneself? It is not possible. Yes?
Then we should always try to act discriminately and always try to serve Krishna, not have Krishna serve us.
Huh?
Always feel that we should try to serve Krishna.
Yeah.
Not say that we will do this and Krishna will provide, or Krishna will help us.
Now you are serving Krishna, that means you are doing. Serving means doing. What do you mean by serving? Actually, when you serve somebody, are you not doing something? You are engaged in serving Krishna how? You are going to preach Krishna consciousness, you are cooking, you are cleansing, you are somewhere doing something. So helping Krishna means doing. Helping Krishna does not mean you sit down tightly. That is Krishna consciousness activities. Whatever asset you have got to work, utilize it for Krishna. That is bhakti. Now we have got, what assets we have got? We have got the mind. All I think of Krishna. We have got this hand, wash the temple, or cook for Krishna. We have got these legs, go to the temple of Krishna. We have got this nose, smell the flowers offered to Krishna. So you can engage. So Krishna consciousness engage means working, activity. Arjuna, he was declined to act. Krishna was infusing to act. This is the whole Bhagavad Gita. Krishna consciousness does not mean that no work. To engage yourself in Krishna consciousness means to work for Krishna. Krishna does not say, of course in this chapter, Krishna will say something about. He never said, Arjuna, my dear friend Arjuna, you don't care for this world. You sit down and meditate upon it. Have you seen in this Bhagavad Gita? This meditation means to stop all nonsense work. Sit down tightly. But those who are advanced in Krishna consciousness, they have to work for Krishna. Just like a child, simply disturbing the home, mother says, my dear child, sit down here. But if you can walk nicely, you ask mother, ask my dear boy, you have to do this, you have to do that, you have to do that. So sit down tightly for the nonsense, not for the sensible. For the nonsense, the more he sits down, at least he does not commit any nonsense, that's all. Negation of nonsense, that is not positive. Here is positive activities. So negation is no life, positive life is life. Don't do this is no life. Do this is life. But in order to do rightly, there are something don't. Don't is not life. Do is life. The whole Bhagavad Gita is do. Do fight for me. There is nothing don't. Arjuna wanted, don't induce me. And Krishna did not like that. You are speaking like non-Aryan. Kutasti kasmalamidam anarja justam. It is this kind of words are spoken by the non-Aryans. He was accused of being non-Aryan. Anarja. So Krishna consciousness does not mean sitting idly. No. We are the whole pastimes of Krishna's full activities. When you go to spiritual world, Krishna is always dancing up to 24 hours, dance there and eat there. Where is sit down? There is no question of sit down. Have you heard anything about gopis meditating? Sit down. Have you heard? And then Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and then what is that? Dancing. Hare Krishna. You see? You see, the spirit, you are spirit soul, how you can stop yourself? Silent. That is not possible. Arjuna refused. When you find in this chapter, when Arjuna was recommended, my dear Arjuna, you meditate. He immediately refused. My dear Krishna, it is not possible for me. It is not possible for me. That is actual fact. I was responsible for him. He was a householder man. He wanted kingdom. He wanted to rule over the country. Where is the time for his meditation? He flatly refused. My dear Krishna, it is not possible for me. He says it's controlling the mind. Vayureva suduskaram. It is as difficult as to control the air. That is a fact. You have to engage the mind in Krishna. Then it is controlled. Otherwise, artificial, you cannot control. It is impossible. Arjuna said, what to speak of others? Arjuna, who is Arjuna? Personally talking with Krishna. Do you think he is ordinary man? He said that it is impossible. Vayureva suduskaram. This very example he has given. Chanchala himmana Krishna pramathi balavad dridham. My dear Krishna, you are asking me to control the mind. It is so powerful that and restless. I think to control the mind is as good as to control the air. If there is high wind, can you control it? He gives this example. You can control the mind when you fix up the mind in Krishna's lotus feet. That's all. No nonsense can come within your mind. Simply Krishna. That is perfection of meditation. Activities.
What is recreation for the Krishna conscious person?
Recreation?
Yes.
Dancing. Come on, dance with us. Is it not recreation? And when you get tired, take prasadam. Do you want more recreation than this? What is your answer? Is it not recreation?
Yes, I think it's difficult for someone who comes from...
Why difficult? Dancing is difficult? Chant and dance?
It's easier for a devotee to live in the temple.
As you can come, anyone can come, everyone is welcome. We don't charge anything for this dancing. You go to ball dance and so many other dances, you pay for it. But we don't charge. We simply, these students simply beg something because we have to maintain. We don't charge anything. So if we simply come and dance and for recreation, it is very nice. Everything is there in Krishna consciousness. We want music, there is music. We want dancing, there is dancing. You can bring nice musical instruments, you can join. We distribute nice palatable dishes. So, practically this is a system of recreation only. Yes. If you seriously think, you'll find this system, there is no labor at all, simply recreation. Susukham. That is stated in the Bhagavad Gita in the 9th chapter, you find Susukham. Everything is pleasing and happy. Find out anything in our system that this is troublesome. Tell me, practically, anyone. That this point is very troublesome. Just put your counter-argument. Simply pleasing. It is simply recreation, that's all. You just point out, Swamiji, this point is not very recreation or not very unhappy person. Nothing. People want, that is their nature, just like the children. When they see that boys and girls are dancing, their children also dancing, automatically. This is spontaneous. This is life. And that is our real life in the spiritual world. There is no anxiety. Simple people are dancing and chanting and eating nicely. That's all. There is no factory. There is no labor. There is no technical institution. There is no need. These are all artificial. Anandamaya Vyasat, the Vedanta says, every living entity, God is Anandamaya, full of bliss and pleasure, and we are part and parcel of God, we are also the same quality, Anandamaya Vyasa. So, our whole process is to join the Supreme Anandamaya, Krishna, in his dance party. That will make us actually happy. Here we are trying to be happy by artificial means. And we are becoming frustrated. But if you actually be situated in Krishna consciousness, simply you revive your original position, joyful, simply joyful. Anandamaya Vyasat, these are the Vedanta terms. Because our nature is Anandamaya. Everyone is trying to find out. In this Lasiniga, there are so many restaurants, so many things and so many signboards. What? They are advertising, come on, here is Ananda, here is pleasure. He is advertising here, we are also doing. Like that, here is Ananda. So everyone is searching after Ananda, pleasure. But there is different standard of pleasure. The same thing, somebody are trying to find out pleasure from the material point of view. Somebody is trying to find pleasure from speculation, philosophy, poetry or art. And somebody is trying to find out pleasure in the transcendental state. Everyone is trying to find out pleasure. That is our business only. Why you are working so hard day and night? Because you know at night I shall mix with that girl, or I shall mix with my wife, or I shall enjoy. Everyone is accepting all kinds of trouble to find out that pleasure. Pleasure is the ultimate goal. But you do not know where is the pleasure. That is the illusion. Real pleasure is in the transcendental form, with Krishna. You'll find Krishna always jolly. There are so many pictures, you see. And if you join, you become jolly. That's all. Have you seen any picture Krishna is working with machine? He is machine. Or have you seen any picture he is smoking? By nature, pleasure, you see. Pleasure. So you have to unfold yourself in that way, and you find pleasure. Simply full of pleasure, that's all. Anandamaya vyasa, by nature, simply pleasure. Not by artificial means. Ananda chinmaya rasa pratibhavita bhi. In the Brahma Samhita I find. Ananda chinmaya rasa pratibhavita bhi. Stabhi jaiva nijirupa taya kalabhi. Golokaiva nivasatya khilatma bhuto. Govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami. Ananda chinmaya rasa. Rasa means the taste, the mellow. Just like we try to taste a sweet meat, a sweet candy, or anything. Why? Because there is a very nice taste. So everyone is trying to have some taste from everything. We want to enjoy sex life. There is some taste. So that is called adi, taste. So there are so many tastes. Yet in the Brahma Sangha tells Ananda Chinmaya Rasa. That taste, material taste, you may taste it, but it will be finished immediately. Immediately, finished. Just a few minutes. Suppose you have got very nice sweet meat. You taste it. You get, it is very nice. Or take another. All right. And another, no, I don't want it. Finished. You see? So material taste is finishable. It is not unlimited. But real taste is unlimited. If you taste one, then you cannot forget. It will go on, increasing. Anandamudi baddhanam. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said that this taste is simply increasing. It is, although it is ocean like, great, still it is increasing. Here you have seen ocean, it is limited. Your Pacific Ocean is tossing. But it is not increasing. If it increases, then it is heaven. You see? But by nature's law, by God's order, it does not come beyond its limit. Within the limit it is. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says that there is an ocean of bliss, ocean of taste, of transcendental bliss, which is increasing. Anandamudi Vardhanam Pratipadam Purnamita Sadhanam Sarvatma Savanam Parang Vijayati Sri Krishna Sankirtanam. You will get by this chanting Hare Krishna, your pleasure potency increasing more and more. Yes, what is your question? Yes. Even in the atom. Oh yes. Wherever he lives in his own paraphernalia. Anorniyang mahato mahiyan. He is the biggest than the biggest. And he is the smallest than the smallest. That is Vishnu. Annantarasthang paramanu chayantarasthang. Paramanu means atom. You cannot see even atom. How small. He is within that atom. He is everywhere.
How you tell us that wherever Krishna is, that is Vrindavan. And what I was wondering is, if Krishna is present within our heart, does that mean that within our heart is...
Yes, one has realized he is living in Vrindavan, anywhere. A realized soul is always living in Vrindavan. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has said. One has realized Krishna, then he is always living in Vrindavan. He is nowhere. Just like Krishna or Vishnu is living in everyone's heart. But he is living in the dog's heart also. Does it mean that he is doggish? He is living in Vaikuntha. Although he is living in the dog's heart, but he is living in Vaikuntha. Similarly, a devotee may seem to be living in some place which is far from Vrindavan, but he is living in Vrindavan. That's the fact.